True Geordie just unleashed a fiery takedown on Jon Jones, and now the rest of the MMA world seems to be rallying behind him. In a no-holds-barred rant, Geordie took direct aim at Jones, saying he should be ashamed to keep calling himself the GOAT while dodging a fight with Tom Aspinall.
If you're not going to fight Tom Aspinall, just retire, mate, because he's been holding up the heavyweight division for the longest time, not just with inactivity, but also ridiculous, wasteful, pointless fights like that Stipe Miocic fight. And the UFC desperately needs stars right now, when we've got one in Tom Aspinall, but we're not doing anything with him. He's not being allowed to fly the way he should do because this guy's ego won't allow it. You say he doesn't want to retire, even though he's got an interim champion that he should be dealing with if he wants to remain champion. He's like, Lord, just strip me. I'll still fight anyway. He clearly wants to carry on fighting, in my opinion. He just doesn't want to fight the most dangerous, threatening man for him in the UFC. And the way he's going about avoiding that fight and the way he's speaking right now, it's so disrespectful, not only to the UFC, but to every single fan he's got left.
And he's far from alone. Across social media, podcasts, and comment sections, frustration is spreading fast. Fans are speaking out louder than ever, and the backlash is beginning to boil over.
Jon Jones's demands of money for the Tom Aspinall fight were met by the UFC. They gave him what he was looking for, and he still said no. So he just doesn't want to fight Tom. They literally, according to Ariel, who hates the UFC and would not make this up to make them look better, according to Ariel, they actually gave Jon Jones FU money that he was looking for, and he still turned down Tom Aspinall. So it's not about money. It's not about anything. He just wants nothing to do with Tom. Very interesting from Jon Jones. Now, everyone is unanimously in agreement about this. So we see a few comments here. But the problem is there's still a lot of people and a lot of people that are always going to be talking about Jones and not accepting what should happen here. Logic should dictate that Tom Aspinall should fight Jon Jones. And you see by these comments, that's cool and all, but I thought Dana made it clear we won't do business again with Francis. He won't. Dana is not going to accept this. Ngannou coming back to the UFC. The UFC could consider it, but again, he's got one more fight on his contract at PFL, and that just can't be dealt with in any other way other than him actually fighting out that contract. None of it matters if Jones still has the belt. It's just another guy waiting to fight. I know it'll just be another guy in the logjam in the heavyweight division, but maybe the UFC could use this against Jon to say, listen, we can move on from you. But I don't know. They aren't. They're just going to let him ruin. We are genuinely going years without a heavyweight fight in the UFC because Jon Jones is just allowed to do that. We have never seen this before in the history of the sport. This is fucking insane.
At this point, it's looking increasingly unlikely that Jon Jones will ever face Tom Aspinall. And the way the situation is being handled has a lot of people questioning everything. Jones has been sidelined for months without a title defense, shifting blame to the UFC for delays. Meanwhile, he's teasing fantasy matchups with Francis Ngannou, joking about vacating the belt, and even dropping hints about retirement.
It's a conversation we've had many times now, the Tom Aspinall-Jon Jones fight. It's a bit different now, right? Because Jon's been tweeting a lot about the fact that he's told you his plans, he's ready to vacate the belt, and all the rest of it.
He said he's ready to vacate the belt?
He said he doesn't care if you strip him, he would vacate it.
Crazy. Yeah, I've been busy. I haven't been keeping up with the gossip. He comes back. He's either back today or came back yesterday or whenever he's in Thailand. So he's home. We'll be home tonight, Tuesday. We'll figure this out.
But if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall and he does walk away, do you think he's ducked him?
Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy. Listen, if the guy wants to retire and doesn't want to fight, nothing you do. I didn't want Habib to retire. I thought DC should have stayed in it longer. So it's none of my business. I'll do what I can to make the fight if we can. If he's talking that crazy, I didn't realize that.
It was kind of crazy how much interest Jon showed in the Francis Ngannou fight. Like there was some tweets going back and forth. What would happen if he came to you and says like, I'll fight, but I won't fight Aspinall, I would fight Ngannou? Would you even be interested in that or no?
I don't have Ngannou under contract, and Aspinall's the guy.
Right. If you were put in the position, would you maybe try to get Ngannou back under contract, or no?
Probably not.
To clarify, you said that John agreed to fight Tom, yes?
John agreed to fight Tom?
Is that what you just said there? Before, like on the last answer, you said
John agreed to fight Tom, yes.
but he hasn't signed a contract.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Well, I mean, you guys have heard me for the last however long. I said, I guarantee you this fight's going to happen. This fight's going to happen. Fight's going to happen. You guys told me the crazy shit that was going on Instagram and all these other places. But yes, I've been saying John is going to fight Tom.
There's some rumors out there that you guys had offered him his fuck you money and he turned it down.
Unless you hear it come from here or we put out a press release, don't believe any of this bullshit. But yes, John agreed to fight Tom. Fact.
All the while, the entire heavyweight division remains frozen. In contrast, Tom Aspinall has done everything by the book, stepping in on short notice, capturing the interim title in dominant fashion, and carrying himself with professionalism and respect ever since. He's stayed ready, waiting for a moment that still hasn't come.
The UFC is about one guy being the champion of each division. I defended the interim once already. It's almost unheard of that. It's unprecedented. I thought it was silly the first time, to be honest. The reason that I did it, the first time I fought Curtis Blades, it went down as a loss. I got injured. The worst moment of my career, one of the worst moments of my life. I wanted to redeem myself and get the legit victory against Curtis Blades because it was unfinished business. Like, that was hurting my ego, and I wanted to prove that I was better than Blades, which I did in the rematch, and I defended the interim. Something else, that particular fight was in Manchester, in my hometown. I wanted to fight in my hometown. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that again in front of a sold-out, brand new Co-op Live arena in Manchester, England. I don't know if I'm ever going to have the opportunity to do that again. So for them two reasons, that's why I defended the interim. I'm not doing it again. Like, I've cleared out the rest of the division, undisputed, and that's it. I deserve a shot at being known as the best heavyweight walking around on planet Earth. It doesn't matter on the opponent, undisputed there.
Stupid. I have no idea the reason why the UFC don't really want Tom to fight anybody else other than Jon Jones. And, you know, they're saying, stay tuned. That's the message they wanted Tom to give out to people. And we had the meeting with Hunter. And they're going to try and fix the fight with Jon Jones, but we're still in April now. Still waiting for this guy to say, I'll have a fight or I'll not have a fight. And I don't really understand that. He's a fighter who should be having fights. Why is he just still sat around not giving an answer as to whether he's going to fight or not? Tom's done all he can do. You know, he's fought in the middle of the night to defend an interim. He fought for an interim because the fight was on for him to do an interim and he couldn't turn it down. And he won that. What else can he do?
But week after week, Aspinall is still left waiting for a clear answer. And that's exactly why tensions are escalating. True Geordie's frustration isn't just about the fight falling through. He's calling out how Jon's actions are reflecting poorly on the UFC itself.
Because he's making them all look like idiots, by the way, with them having to support a guy who's literally behaving like a coward as a heavyweight world champion. And it's just so detrimental to the UFC. You look at boxing right now. Boxing's never been stronger, up and down the divisions. But the heavyweight division is flying. And it's because it's being led by a great champion in Alexander Usyk, who is taking on all comers. And by the way, it's not enough to just beat his best contenders once. He beats them twice just to make damn sure that there's not a thing anyone can say about it. That's a real champion. Jon Jones isn't fit to even be spoken about in the same fucking sentence as Alexander Usyk. Not the level of fighter he is, not the level of man he is, right? He doesn't even fucking belong in that fucking category. The way he's carrying himself now as a champion, it is without doubt the most embarrassing way I've ever seen a champion conduct themselves in a title reign. And I interviewed Tom Aspinall in 2023 about this.
Jon Jones has had one fight at heavyweight against Cyril Gane, who, let's be honest, didn't fucking want to be there. One fight in 3 years, so he's had one fight at heavyweight. Stipe has had one fight in 4 years and he got knocked out.
How can that possibly represent the best fighting the best?
Couldn't agree more, mate, honestly.
It blows my mind. Yeah. That was over a year and a half ago. And look, the clues were always there that Jon Jones was never, not even if you put a fucking gun to his head, gonna take that fight.
A champion who won't defend his title, a belt that's beginning to lose, its meaning, and a top contender stuck in limbo as time slips away. This is why frustration is boiling over. And it's not just true Geordie anymore. A growing wave of fans, analysts, and former fighters are starting to turn on Jon. Because the longer this drags on, the harder it becomes to defend his legacy.
A lot of people asking me, why do you hate Jon Jones? I don't hate Jon Jones. I've been covering Jon Jones since his UFC debut. We've had many chats, some on the record, some off the record. I just have to keep it real and tell you about, how I think things are going down here. And it's not great. Not happy about it. Like I said yesterday, a mockery has been made of the sport, of the belt. The most important thing in this sport is the belt. The most important thing to the UFC is the belt. That's what everything gears towards. And they have told us they hate when people vacate the title or don't want to defend the title. Well, that's what's happening right now. So tell me where I've been unfair. Tell me where I've lied. Tell me where I've been biased. I saw some people saying yesterday, like, oh, he just defended the title. All right. Are we going to wait till November to strip him?
This isn't the Jon Jones. Fans remember. The relentless competitor who welcomed every challenge and proved every doubter wrong.
Just look at the language Jones has been using from day one about Tom Aspinall. Why would I gamble my legacy on someone like him? Jon Jones, gamble. You win every fight, don't you? You're guaranteed to win every fight. You can beat anyone. Every fight, if you're the best fighting the best, is a bit of a gamble. But you're the heavyweight champion of the world. You're supposed to go on and do that. I've never ever known a champion who tells everyone how great they are and yet doesn't want to fight the best challenger. I tell a lie. Actually, I do remember one time, Tyson Fury, when he did not want to fight Alexander Usyk. Oh, he's not a big enough name. Oh, and he made all the excuses in the world. And guess what? Usyk beat him twice. And this is exactly why Jon Jones doesn't want to take that fight. Because he can see what the fuck is on the way. Jones spent the majority of his career as a heavyweight, boiling down to light heavyweight, beating guys who are actually middleweight.
Right now, the so-called GOAT is on the sidelines, dodging questions, firing off tweets, and cracking jokes, while a hungry and dangerous interim champ waits in the wings, ready to go. And still, nothing. Names like Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou are being tossed back into the mix. But none of it makes sense until the UFC figures out what to do with the heavyweight belt. The division is stuck, and the longer this drags on, the louder the criticism becomes. True Geordie just voiced what many fans have been thinking. And if nothing changes soon, more and more people will start questioning Jon Jones's legacy altogether. Because this isn't just about one fight. It's about what it means to be a champion. It's about keeping divisions moving and giving contenders like Tom Aspinall a fair shot. The pressure is real, and it's no longer coming from a single critic. It's coming from every corner of the MMA world.